Remember this image well, because certain things end exactly as they begin. The year is 2125, and a boy walks alone through a deserted city. Sand, scorching wind, and blazing sun serve as a graveyard for the ruined buildings. Amid the sand, the young boy finds a harsh reminder of what extinction means. He laments, because there is no sign of humans in this city either. His name is Rahito, a boy just looking for any sign of life, or whatever remains of it. 100 years earlier, a meteor larger than the one that wiped out the dinosaurs struck her. The result, everyone already knows. However, it was only the beginning of the nightmare. What once were just microbes, invisible to the naked eye, evolved into the greatest fear of the human race. Cells transformed into aliens, each more terrifying than the last. All of them of an unknown nature. The invasion of humanity began and the flames of hell spread. Human resistance, completely useless. Who can stand up to such ferocity? The human population plummeted straight to the abyss. Only desperate times call for desperate measures. A new race based on human genes was created to fight the aliens. Androids. Just like Rahito, our protagonist. A giant mutant worm emerged from the sands and Rahito told it to get lost. The creature only roared, throwing sand and dust into the air, then lunged with full force. Dodging with a jump wasn't even hard for Rahito. Too slow, he said, then struck the monster hard. He posed like a superhero while the worm collapsed into pieces behind him. The system core informed him that he had earned experience. While receiving his XP, he remembered that humanity had already been defeated long ago. That thought, understandably, frustrated him. After all, why was he created? Only to be alone in the world? The desert sands were far from comforting and only reminded him how truly alone he was. Until one day he found the ruins of something, lost amid the sea of dust and the beautiful sunset. Full of hope, he went inside, seeking at least a clue. The completely destroyed place didn't seem promising. Even so, he switched on his flashlight and continued. Rahito discovered some kind of office. He was surprised, since this looked like a complex rarely seen nowadays. And somehow, an iPhone was lying there at the back. Best part, the battery was still nicely charged. The messaging app worked perfectly, which surprised him, since he had never seen anything like that. Out of caution, he took the device. Little did he know that this decision would change the fate of everything. He returned to his base, crossing rocky canyons beneath a marvelous starry sky. Even beautiful things can hide terrible surprises. Guess who came back? That's right, the same lizard boss from earlier returned wanting another beating. It burst from the ground with a terrifying roar that could freeze hearts. Not the heart of our protagonist though, who wore that annoyingly confident smirk. The monster opened its jaws and roared even louder. Since it was begging for it, Rahito decided to show a bit of his power. He channeled energy into his palm and shouted, "Take this, Star OF Death Cannon." That was the name of his attack. Just like he said, a cannon blast surged forth. A bluish beam exploded from his palm. It was like the power of a newborn star infused with the wrath of a sun. One mere second, and the lizard boss was consumed. Only its remains were left behind. The creature's remains fell, and Rahito thanked it for the experience points. 100 years earlier, something much more peaceful was going on. A student in Tokyo was living in her perfect little world, probably listening to BTS, when her iPhone buzzed. Hashina, a second-year high schooler, checked the message. Seeing it came from someone named Rahito, listed as a combat specialist, she figured it had to be spam. Though we all know how these things go. Suddenly, a light burst from the screen and wrapped around the girl. It was so bright that it formed a bridge between time and space. She slowly woke up, disoriented among rocks. Her pink little world was gone. Where she ended up was exactly how our story began. Desert, loneliness, and ruins. Confused, Hashina kept walking. She checked the phone signal. Nothing. She assumed this had to be a dream. Of course, nothing else would make sense. Touching things around her, she realized this dream felt much more real than she had imagined. The cold wind lifted dust, but not her doubts. With nothing else to do, Hashina continued her march. Luckily, she found an old pair of shoes among the debris. Better than walking barefoot through the apocalypse. Suddenly, she heard a growl behind a rock and turned around, to find nothing. At least, not yet. She breathed in relief, thinking it was only her imagination. Still, for a silly dream, the fear creeping into her felt awfully real. A giant scorpion arachnid emerged from the rubble, black as the night itself. Hashina ran. She ran desperately, gasping for air. If this is a dream, then it's a terrifying one, she said. The demonic creature showed no mercy. Its legs, sharp as scissors, drew closer and closer. One strike and Hashina would learn whether she was dreaming or about to sleep forever. The scorpion leaped and landed with a shockwave that made Hashina stumble without falling. She kept running. Running was the key. The monster closed in from the sides while she begged to wake up. Breathless, she hit a dead end. The beast climbed a wall and stalked her from above. "What do I do?" she cried. Too late. The ambush was ready, and its blade-like leg came slashing down. Hashina screamed in terror. Then came the good part of every nightmare. The hero appeared right on time. With just one hand, his left one even, he blocked the attack. Both the monster and the girl froze with the same dumbfounded expression. Rihito, gathering aura, simply said, "I'll turn you into experience." A well-placed punch boomed like thunder in the creature's torso. It was sent flying high, and Rihito teleported to its head. A single devastating elbow strike annihilated it. The hero fell to his knees, farming more aura. While he collected his XP, Hashina stared just like you are now. Exactly how anyone would stare after witnessing something this absurd. "Are you okay?" he asked. She could barely answer, her arm injured and throbbing. The pain in her leg joined the chorus, confirming this was no dream. Rihito noticed her wounds and, by the color of her blood, realized she was human. She was filled with questions and, of course, said she had no idea what aliens were when Rihito asked. This made the boy think, since she was a complete stranger and completely uninformed, and he believed humans had truly been wiped out. So he began to explain. He left Hashina stunned when he spoke about the meteor in 2025, the alien substance, and the awakening of the beasts. It was hard for anyone to accept, but she was indeed in 2125. This intrigued Rihito even more. Hashina explained that in her bedroom she received a strange message, showing him her iPhone. The protagonist recognized the very message he had sent, leaving her even more confused. One thing Rihito knew for sure, the girl really had traveled into the future. "This must be a joke," she screamed. If only it were far away, or maybe not. A technological structure brighter than the purest amethyst gleamed under the moonlight. A sinister hooded figure studied a hologram of the Milky Way intently. Worse still, his pale face twisted into a pleased smile when he looked at the solar system and detected the distortion in space and time. "Interesting," he said. The night wind whistled as it passed through the holes in the ruins of the city. Rihito looked up, judged the situation, and told Hashina it was unsafe to remain there. Their goal was to reach his base. It shouldn't be too far, he thought. Like a true gentleman, he said it would be safer to escort her to his home. Sena was a bit surprised, but she didn't hesitate to take his hand. A little warmth in the cold night. Before they went into the darkness, they exchanged names. The girl said hers was Sena Fuka. Rihito loved the name and complimented her sincerely. After some time walking, Sena paused and observed the surroundings. She was still trying to digest what humanity looked like 100 years into the future. When questioned, Sena pretended she was only tired. Rihito recognized they had been walking for a long time, but staying still was worse than fatigue. "Far too dangerous," he said. He asked her to endure it for now. Aliens could emerge at any moment. She understood, but the silence made her anxious, so she wanted to ask something. While they walked, she asked what he meant earlier when he asked if she was human. He froze for a second, struggling to find the right words. Sena became even more shocked when she learned humans had been wiped out. Eradicated, gone. Pick any synonym. Helping her up a ledge, Rihito revealed he was not human, not a normal one. He was created to fight aliens, an android. The moonlight ahead illuminated Sena's mind, as if she were finally accepting reality. Actually, it only seemed that way. She screamed, "You've got to be kidding me. There's no reason for me to lie to you," he said. Poor Sena's head was boiling like a political protest crowd in Brasilia. She just wanted to go home to her own world. Soon after, they arrived at what Rihito called home. "Come in, make yourself comfortable," he said kindly. "Ladies first." She stepped in. Nervous, she squeaked when the door slammed shut. "Nothing to fear though. Not here. Just look at this living room. A bit of comfort in a chaotic world. A little messy because I stepped out for a bit," Rihito said, and invited her to sit on the couch. She looked around and tapped a pillow, more than ready to rest her legs. What she got instead was a face full of dust. "A little messy and stepped out," he said. "Huh, even so." She sat. She couldn't help wondering what would become of her. Another monster attack? She could very well end up as dinner. Her heart nearly leapt out of her chest when Rihito arrived silently, carrying a tray with a plate of food. A good host who knew how to treat guests. His chivalry made Sena blush. He said it was just instant food, but he was proud of it anyway. The poor girl was starving. Food is food. She licked her lips, ready to devour it. Then came the menu: cockroach stew and leftover lizard guts. Her stomach almost turned itself inside out in protest. Imagine the smell. Rihito tried to guess what she found wrong. She made the mistake of asking what was in that dish, something she would have preferred not knowing. The protagonist explained that it was a delicacy, remains of aliens, which, surprise, he had personally killed. And no way, she screamed hysterically. Rihito told her the professor said being picky with food looked bad. Professor? And who is this professor? Sana shot back. Rihito explained he was the one who created him. The doubt remained in the air. There is no stress a hot shower cannot fix. Hashina felt alive again after the bath. The water washed away the grime, though not the memory of that food. No way she would spend the rest of her life eating aliens for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. She changed into something more comfortable, thinking every minute about how to return to her time. Though too sleepy to think well, she promised herself to deal with that problem tomorrow. Rihito was quite attentive, worrying about her bath. This left the girl flustered before he prepared the couch for her to sleep. She shyly asked if that was his bed, but he reassured her politely. She thanked him for at least having a place to sleep. After improvising a bed for Sana, he remained puzzled that she didn't want to eat the delicious lizard gut special. The stench still wandered around the room and Sana simply said she was fine. He accepted that too. She also worried about taking the only couch as a bed. Rihito, with his silver hair, said it was no problem. He was an android, so he slept standing up, pure and simple. He bowed, saying he would immediately fix the other rooms and prepare a real bed for her tomorrow. Hey, there's no need to go that far, relax, she said. She just fell there by accident and wanted to sleep. A couch was good enough. Sana dropped onto the bed, wished him good night with that irresistible charm, and wrapped herself in the blankets. A funny little character, this girl. She made Rihito smile as he said good night back. Hours passed as silence swept through the cozy room. Rihito slept. Sana rolled to one side, then the other. She just couldn't sleep. Whether the protagonist was sleeping or not, he opened his eyes. Can't sleep? He asked. He turned the lights on and wondered what to do. It was a new environment, and there wasn't much available. Lack of sleep wouldn't be good for her. Then that little sound everyone knows echoed through the room. Sana's stomach growling, or rather roaring. Worst part, when Rihito checked the fridge, all he found was chopped alien meat. A la carte, of course. For someone starving, even rocks become bread. Sana stared at the plate, ready to take a bite. I'm starving, she muttered. She raised her hand, ready for that legendary shovel scoop to swallow everything at once. Better that than dying hungry. When the protagonist finally decided what to do, he was too late. With immense bravery, she dug a spoonful in and swallowed everything in a single motion. The result was way more surprising than we could expect. Her world turned upside down, because it tasted unbelievably delicious. Who would have guessed? Spoon after spoon, she cleaned the plate and thanked him for the meal. You okay? Rihito asked, and Sana thanked him again, regretting not eating sooner. He felt encouraged, thinking she might be lowering her guard a little. Maybe they could even be friends. Next morning, Rihito's breakfast mission consisted of hunting some alien T-Rexes casually roaming the area. Super easy to dodge attacks and nearly impossible to miss a hit on something that huge. Rihito fired one of his furious blasts, piercing the beast like a spear. The creature collapsed and he received his reward. He leveled up and increased his physical ability. Still, that wasn't enough for him. He needed more special abilities if he hoped to defeat someone called Gracis and avenge his professor. Rihito thought about that while slicing alien meat for Sana's dinner. Then, in classic cliffhanger fashion, some kind of creature, human, alien, or maybe both, observed him from afar. 2 dragons flew above the desert. A breathtaking sight, maybe terrifying too, but Rihito swore Sana would love it. Although she probably wouldn't love the glare of that infernal beast diving at him in a deadly swoop. He barely dodged it as the monster shot past. At that speed and distance, fighting was no joke, though Rihito did call out to provoke it. Twice as furious now, the dragon came again. The impact shook the ground violently. Rihito grabbed the dragon by the neck with overwhelming strength, like it was just paper. With this reach, your strength means nothing, he said. With a single pull, he decapitated the beast. The head rolled across the sand. Standing before the corpse, he said that would be enough to satisfy Sana. Carrying the dead creature, someone approached. Another android, who had heard the battle. Still hunting aliens? He asked. Rihito answered, that should be the reason for our existence. The other android questioned him, since humanity was already extinct. Just as Rihito was about to explain, he changed his mind. For Sana's safety, some things were better kept secret. The android grew curious, but Rihito offered the classic, still figuring it out. The android warned him not to go overboard, or Gracis would come after him, which sounded like one more reason to get stronger. Completely out of nowhere, something dropped from above like a torpedo, crashing into the ground. The purple creature from before appeared in all its terrible glory. Not quite Frisia, not quite Cell, but maybe a wicked combination of both. Was it dangerous? Let's just say Rihito remembered this was the one who brutally murdered his professor. Just that, his rage surged into sheer power as he focused a mass of energy into his fist. With a furious shout, he attacked. The result might as well have been nothing. So he unleashed fists like a meteor machine gun, each punch stronger than the last. Still no effect. Frustration hit. As he backed away, he heard the alien's dull voice. "Is that all you have, alien hunter?" Since it talked, Rihito figured it must be an elite alien. A worthy enemy deserves a worthy attack. Rihito prepared his special Death Star cannon. The blast was fast, massive, not even enough to make the alien shift an inch. Not a single centimeter. The monster simply moved its fist. Rihito blinked. Then the hit landed with brute force. His chest felt like it exploded. He crashed into a rock that shattered apart. The strength, the pain, that memory wasn't going anywhere anytime soon. "You're good, but still far below the other androids." The alien praised him. Surprisingly, it said it liked the boy. It told Rihito to get stronger and seek him again when ready. Those were the last words he heard before blacking out completely. Sana was already tired of waiting for him when an intense light burst below her. Space warped again. Time travel activated. Without any explanation, she woke up groggy again, this time in a place she knew very well. Her bedroom. She looked around. It didn't seem like a dream. Checking her iPhone, she saw that a whole day had passed. She feared sending a message. Maybe she'd be pulled back again. She sent it anyway. Nothing happened. Relief washed over her. She was home. That's what mattered. Even if she was alone. She quickly tried lying to herself, pretending she wasn't alone. The moment a notification arrived, she rushed to check it. Frustration struck when she saw it was just her mother. As expected, she received a scolding from afar for sneaking out without warning. Leaving her room, she ran straight into her father, who had just arrived from work. Her brain scrambled to create a believable excuse for her little outing. What would she say? That she magically traveled to another dimension? Ridiculous. She thought about the research they did with time-space, but decided to talk about the strange message she received. That's what she did. Back in the future, Rihito dragged himself home, shattered from the beating he took. Once inside, he collapsed to the floor and discovered the elite alien wasn't the only surprise of the day. Instantly, he dropped to his knees, chest burning. His iPhone flew from his hand, but he kept going. He typed quickly that he needed to see the girl and managed to send the message just in time, before passing out completely on the dusty floor. Not so far in the past, Sana was having dinner with her family. Her father asked if she really had communicated with someone from the future. Hard to believe, but she insisted on the truth. The worst part was that she wasn't even lying. Maybe that's why her father grew thoughtful. He asked for her iPhone. Even suspicious, she agreed. Despite wanting to see the boy again, the pebble in her shoe was her father. If he discovered how time travel worked, he would definitely try it. That could be dangerous. Instead, it turned out way lighter, and way more embarrassing. "Do you have a boyfriend or something?" he asked suspiciously. The girl freaked out, and agreed to hand him the phone only if he figured out how time travel worked. He accepted confidently, and Sana convinced herself that Rihito would be fine. After all, he was strong as the devil, and she knew it. Next morning, on her way to school, Sana felt like she was being followed. She was. Her friend jumped on her back bursting with energy. Sana told her to calm down, terrified it might be an alien. Her friend eyed her suspiciously even after Sana's excuse about watching a movie. She dropped the subject only because they couldn't be late. At school, Sana couldn't focus at all. Her thoughts spiraled around one question. Was Rihito okay? After the bell rang, her classmate called her to eat together. Not even the juicy gossip moment caught Sana's attention. When asked how the movie was, Sana nearly spit her juice after her friend asked if she had a crush. Sana turned as red as a chili pepper, giving every sign possible, disappearing without warning, spacing out in class. A full bingo. No, it's not like that," Sana babbled. Her nerves only made her friend more suspicious. Who wouldn't be? By the end of the day, all she wanted was peace. Her friend made it clear she wanted every detail if Sana was in love. Sana ran off screaming like a madwoman, blaming Rihito. Even so, she couldn't stop worrying about him. It was driving her insane. She remembered she could use the iPhone to contact him and rushed home to see how her father was doing. Once home, she went to the office to check, but only the phone was there. On the screen, she saw Rihito's message asking to see her. Just staring at it made her think she might time travel again. She braced for the worst, except that wasn't how it worked. She needed to send a message first in order to travel. That's why she didn't want to reply. Too dangerous. One moment of reflection was enough to realize that if nothing changed, the future would stay the same and everything and everyone would die. So she made the kind of decision anyone secretly dreams of, learning about a doomed future in order to prevent it. Also, because the boy had been so kind to her, Sana felt compelled to return at least once. She started typing her message. Still lying on the ground, Rihito slowly regained consciousness. Confused, he remembered the battle he lost against the elite alien. Punching the floor, he cursed his own weakness. He failed to do anything against his professor's killer. If he couldn't even defeat that monster, how could he ever beat the fearsome Graces? Then his phone beeped. A message. He picked up the phone and saw Sena asking him to send another message back. That left him unsure. Would it be worth bringing the girl again into this chaos? At home, Sena waited anxiously. Her foot tapped non-stop, nerves shaking her entire body. Then the message arrived. The question was far from subtle. Do you like androids? She barely had time to react to the weirdness before the light swallowed her. A photonic vortex twisted around her and she soared through the marvel of space-time. Despite the apocalyptic state of things, the place she landed was still beautiful. Inside a wrecked aircraft, she stirred awake. The broken stone, burning sand, and destroyed vehicles were proof of the future that wiped out her species. If only she had landed in the same place as before, but that's not how things work here. She left in search of a safe spot until Rihito found her. She walked until nightfall, then kept walking. By the time she stopped, she realized it was a terrible idea. A noise behind the car almost scared her to death. Just a bolt falling, then a hand on her shoulder. She turned blue with fear. She tried punching, but it wasn't needed. Calm down, Sena, said the boy to the hysterical girl. Behold the one who returned to brighten her day. She collapsed in relief seeing it was Rihito, far more worried than her. He asked where she had been all this time. Before speaking, Rihito decided it was best to return to base, and he didn't waste a second lifting her into his arms. The look on Sena's face needed no explanation. Rihito sprinted off in full speed. He ran and ran, then rushed forward with momentum and leapt off a cliff. He glided impressively across the valley. Sena was overtaken by the thrill of flying and seeing that even this world still held beauty. Rihito clearly enjoyed her reaction. Soon they were back at the base, finally comfortable enough to discuss the strange time traveling. With all cards on the table, Rihito figured it must be linked to the messages and explained that time travel had some rules. When Sena received a message and read it, she would travel, but she always returned after 24 hours. They both pondered that for a moment. Out of nowhere, Rihito suggested that she messaged him because she wanted to see him. As expected, Sena exploded in embarrassment, denying everything. I only wanted to find out what happened to me, she insisted. Rihito sighed, a sad moment in the life of a soldier. Even though she didn't want him looking at her like that, the android said they could spend 24 hours together. Nothing special in Sena's opinion. Full of excitement, he invited her to sleep and said she could use the sofa again. Her only question was why Rihito looked so down in the first place. You didn't even take care of your wounds, she said, and the android gave the classic excuse of not having time. So Sena told him to grab the first aid kit so she could treat him. While tending to his wounds, when she asked where he had been, Rihito simply answered that he'd been on his usual hunts. She obviously grew suspicious. To break the mood, Rihito asked if he could call her again. From Sena's doubtful expression, the android took it as a no. That wasn't it, though. She only said he should call her when she was off. For some reason, he was impressed when he heard day off. Yeah, I'm super busy. School and all, you know, the girl said. Born in a post-apocalyptic world, he naturally said he didn't understand any of that. What mattered was that he could call her on her days off. She gave him a pat on the back and the ceiling instantly turned transparent and beautiful. It was a special ceiling that changed its form with the sound the hand made. So, where are your days off? He asked after thanking her for the care. For a high school girl, only Saturdays and Sundays. She worried the calendars might not line up perfectly. Rihito answered that it was Friday, the same weekday as in the past. Only the date was different. They were happy to see the days matched perfectly. The realities were aligned. Rihito said they could spend the entire weekend together. Sena immediately scolded herself. Why on earth am I happy about this? She asked herself, since she was there only to change the future. That reality was unforgivable. And even with Rihito protecting her, there were enemies out there who could turn him into pulp. So she considered not coming back anymore, even though she worried a lot about him. Seeing the girl's expression of pure conflict, he guessed she was starving. Even as she denied it and pouted, he told her to relax because he would prepare a tasty meal. As he left, she noticed his kindness. Even wounded, he was going to cook for her. Sena just looked up, taking in the dazzling marvel of the cosmos, the cold and distant stellar blue, wishing she could do something for him. Sometime later, they were dining on a delicious soup of worms and earthworms. To break the ice, she asked why he kept fighting even after a defeat. Even he found the out-of-the-blue question strange. Though she apologized, he said it was his mission to protect people. Even if humans have been eradicated, she asked. For androids, Protecting people comes before everything. He said he had no other reason to fight. When he remembered the professor, anger made him crush the spoon. For the sake of the professor's mission, Rihito concluded he needed to become stronger. Luckily, he had been equipped with the best experience gain system. He explained that by defeating aliens, he earned XP and leveled up, a setup the professor made especially for him. All for one objective: defeat the final boss Gracis, the toughest alien in this reality. He got hyped and had the brilliant idea of inviting Sena to be his hunting partner. He explained that she had caused all this stir by traveling to the future, so leaving the base once in a while wasn't a bad option. The girl saw he wasn't exactly wrong, but she would still have to deal with the lurking dangers out there. As you'd expect, Rihito promised to protect her from every evil. She weighed all those details, but Rihito was way too excited and insisted hard. He insisted so much that she ended up agreeing. The pity was that Rihito didn't get to give the famous brotherly hug, because she told him to stay where he was. In case anyone was wondering, yes, he used a coaching book in the middle of the apocalypse. How to Invite Friends was the name of that rarity. The girl left a clear message: if I die, I'm going to haunt you. As if he would ever let her die. Next day, they set out into the world. Even just walking, Hashina was nervous. A little noise to the side made her scream, and with good reason. Rihito said she didn't need to be so nervous. Easier said by someone used to it. As for her, the poor thing had her heart in her throat, wondering at which corner an alien would attack. Even remembering he would protect her. And even though she knew that, it didn't change the fact that she was scared. So she asked him to think about how she felt, which was pretty strange for an android who, let's be honest, wasn't used to the sweet and amazing human personality. They just followed the streets. Thank goodness they weren't on the hot sand anymore. No matter how far they walked, the devastated land only stretched ahead. At most, they would find small animals. Humans, no chance at all. With every step, it really sank in for Sena that the eradication of her race had come without mercy. So she felt in her hands the duty to change that cursed future, no matter the cost. Except to do that, she would first need to survive the dangers of this world. Like that wolf right behind her, for example. The beast attacked with steel claws, hungry for blood. Sena looked on, her gaze trembling, full of terror, and was saved by a grab just in time. The slash passed by mere millimeters. Very, very close. Heart in her mouth, she gasped in his arms. I won't let a single finger touch you, Rihito said confidently. He moved her behind him while the big wolf took its stance. With his dynamic vision, Rihito saw that the alien was fueled by energy ores on its back that had driven it frantic. Who said that was a problem? He simply made the beckoning gesture with his hand, a la Bruce Lee, and the wolf charged with its claws, making the sound of iron scraping. A great leap from the creature, a shout of warning from Sena, and a lot of patience from Rihito. That all came before the creature began slashing, trying every way to hit the android, but ironically, it was like attacking the wind. Attack after attack missed, until Rihito grabbed its paw. Is that all you've got? He said, leaving Sena slack-jawed right beside him. Not that she didn't already know, but it was impressive to see how strong he was. The wolf retreated quickly, then the amethyst crystals on its back turned into a mini jungle. With no time to charge up aura, it fired a machine gun of energized thorns. Rihito didn't move a centimeter, and while Sena was terrified, he only smiled. With superhuman speed, Rihito parried every single thorn. If that isn't overpowered, nothing is. After the barrage, he armed himself as if it were a knife-throwing game. Even the wolf was left jaw-dropped, with no time to counter before it ended up tasting its own poison. The spikes pierced his flesh mercilessly and he was thrown back like a wrecking ball strike. As the dust settled, Hashina asked if it was finally over. Not yet. The wolf wanted more, its eyes gleaming with hunger. Rihito explained that this type of alien was tough. Normal attacks didn't work and it could regenerate. The wounds of the Lupin alien healed instantly. Rihito noticed this clearly, earning a scolding from Sena for staying so calm in a situation like that. Unsurprisingly, he had a plan. He always has a plan. What are you going to do? Hashina asked while the alien howled. What am I going to do? This, Rihito replied. He charged toward the wolf with speed too fast for the naked eye. His palm lit up as soon as it touched the creature's head. Buddy, you're about to become XP, he said, right before bursting into cosmic power. The Death Star cannon shredded the alien without mercy. A single shot was all he needed, and he thought that would be enough to impress Sena. Instead, she got angry because he could have done that from the start. He even had the audacity to ask why she was stressed. He explained that the Death Star cannon consumes a lot of energy. He couldn't just fire it casually. While she tried to calm down, he insisted he wasn't holding back to show off or anything like that. This, of course, irritated her even more. So what does he do? He proudly shows off his infamous coaching book. Sana demanded he throw that garbage away, but for him it was practically a Bible. At least he leveled up, which was what really mattered. He paused to check the message and noticed something different. It seemed Sana's presence was affecting the system. For a moment, he stared at her before saying it was nothing. He just needed to decide what to do next. The hunt had only begun, which made Sana sigh at the thought of walking even more. No one knows how far they traveled, but the aliens had a terrible day. They dropped from the sky like rain, all defeated by Rihito. After countless enemies fell, he simply called for more. There were plenty left to crush. The Death Star cannon sang its deadly tune and erased aliens from existence. Only Stardust remained, along with a reward for the android. He gained extra XP because he was protecting a human, leveling up again. Normally, he would have to defeat 4 times that number of enemies to level up, so the girl's presence was definitely changing things. As the sacred book said, the presence of friends is the greatest strength of all, so none of this was surprising. Sana wondered what was happening while Rihito praised God without irony. Returning to focus, he explained that he had leveled up. He was stronger and even more resilient. She assumed that would affect only his body, but no. Rihito explained that leveling up also granted special abilities, like the Death Star cannon, which Sana asked about. However, unlike the cannon, Rihito said no, that ability was unique, given to him by the professor. The abilities he meant were things like super speed or temporary power boosts. To Sana, and for very good reason, everything felt more and more like a video game. A game? He asked. He had only heard a little about such things from the professor and didn't really understand how a video game worked. That was why Sana offered him her iPhone to try. He got so excited he forgot about personal space. Sana stepped back, blushing. He was undeniably handsome. The last thing she wanted was him getting that close, while also secretly wanting exactly that. They continued walking until they reached a beach. Hashina opened an offline game that still worked, a simple but tough looter shooter. Don't get frustrated if you can't win, okay, she said. He was an android, after all. He boldly declared he would farm XP even in a game like that. He started playing. He knew how to crush monsters in real life, but clearing a mobile game, that was a different beast. He died. Then he died again, and again, and again, and again, until he experienced, firsthand, the pain that makes gamers grab mom's credit card for that sweet pay-to-win boost. Sana asked if he was close to beating it. He said almost and swore he would squeeze XP out of that game somehow. She found it adorable watching him struggle. He admitted the game's boss was relentless and should not be underestimated. He did what every player beaten by a Souls-like knows by heart: focus. Sana reminded him patience was key. Slow, careful movement, no rushing, sharp attention, finger skill, memorizing enemy movesets. With that, he finally reached victory, wearing the exact expression every gamer knows too well. Did I win? He asked. Sana congratulated him. Solid gameplay. He even bragged a bit about his skills. She reclaimed her phone, though. Offline play lasted only an hour and the sun was already setting. While they walked, Sana asked what he liked to do for fun. Truth be told, he had no answer. His entire life had been about hunting and killing. The only thing he ever did, if it even counted, was roam in search of humans. Until he found her. That must have been hard, Sana said with a soft look while they admired the bay. The android didn't deny it. He admitted it was difficult, but even more than that, he confessed he was genuinely happy that she was there with him. Sana's eyes sparkled like crystal. Rihito reached his hand out, inviting her to return home. On the way back, Rihito casually eliminated any alien in their path. Watching this, Sana's stomach growled loud enough to be a soundtrack. "You're hungry, huh?" he asked. She insisted it wasn't her fault he became addicted to the game. He had no counter-argument. Nothing new. He started planning a delicious recipe. Seeing where the food came from now, she almost regretted tasting it before. "Hold on, Rihito," she shouted. She thought for a moment and had a brilliant idea. This time she would cook. Rihito agreed, even humming happily while Hashina wondered the best way to cook alien meat. Maybe, if she added normal ingredients, it would taste better. So she asked if he had anything that wasn't alien meat. He just said yes. That shocked her, even more when he said they could buy those things in a city. City? Sana could barely believe it. Even if it was a city of androids, it was still a city. He says that if his memory wasn't failing him, there was someone who cultivated fruits and vegetables as a hobby. For the girl, that sounded perfect. With fruits and vegetables, she could finally say goodbye to disgusting meals. "Let's go buy ingredients," she said. A pretty good idea for Rihito, who would love to go shopping with a friend. He literally said that to her. She didn't disagree, only found his sudden excitement a bit strange. The entrance of the city was gigantic, a structure worthy of a metropolis of androids. Sana was left speechless. Before going in, Rihito asked her to pretend she was an android because who knows what they would do if they found out she wasn't. Even with him by her side, it was clear that Rihito was a little eccentric even among his own kind. Not a surprise to her that he didn't have friends. That left him just a bit hurt, and he walked ahead, leaving Hashina embarrassed. Noticing something abnormal, Rihito suddenly stopped. He activated his dynamic vision and searched around the piles of scrap metal. Up ahead, chaos was unfolding and alien beetles were chasing a pickup truck. He informed Sana and decided to help without a second thought. He sprinted like the scorching desert wind. If there's one thing you can't miss in an apocalypse, it's a horde chase with machine gun fire flying everywhere in the desert. The girl rushed back inside the car complaining about the swarm, while her partner simply said it was no big deal. Staying calm helps in times like this, he said. Oh, sure, like I can stay calm now, she replied hysterically. Suddenly, one of the beetles smacked the car. Before the girl could be thrown out, the driver pulled off a perfect maneuver purely based on experience. What happened to the whole stay calm part? She muttered, annoyed yet funny. It didn't take long before they spotted Rihito's reflection in the rearview mirror. He arrived like a star-born lightning bolt, slicing one of the creatures in half. The alien beetle horde charged in full force and he went into extermination mode. Extermination mode was an understatement. He went with brute strength alone. One by one, the insects were brutally crushed. When everything was over, only blood, sweat, and Rihito remained. The pink-haired girl was impressed. Her companion said that judging by his skills, he must be the rumored alien hunter. She found him a bit eccentric, but that didn't really matter. They approached to thank him, praising his combat ability. No, not really. I still have a long road ahead, he replied humbly and started walking away. The pickup driver even offered a ride to the city, but Rihito wanted to take the shorter path on foot. For him it was short, because before they could even blink, he vanished into the wasteland like a bullet. Either way, they would see him again in the city. Sana waited patiently until, like a gust of wind, Rihito returned. He said there was nothing to worry about. Back to the regular program. He was excited to taste her cooking. The entrance to the city was heavily guarded and the soldiers blocked his passage. He explained they were only going to buy some ingredients, but the guards insisted. When he showed a dark expression, they simply stepped aside. We see a street where people are shopping at outdoor markets. Sana finds it amazing because it's a real city. Rihito asks what she thought it would be. She says she was expecting something more post-apocalyptic, that kind of vibe. You know, Rihito says that would be inconvenient, and she agrees, saying yes, that's true. They approach a door and go inside. Once there, a man notices the movement and says, "Hey, look over there. Isn't that an alien hunter? How useless. He's still doing that. What if the aliens attack us in large numbers right here?" Nearby, more people notice their arrival. After all, it's hard not to notice a guy carrying a huge alien on his back. They realize, yes, he's the alien hunter, and are surprised that he's with someone. Anyone who wants to stay with that guy must be a pervert. A woman agrees, saying yes, and hopes he leaves soon before causing any trouble. Sana says that the place has a weird vibe. Yeah, I told you. Apparently, I'm strange. To them, I'm just an eccentric person, you know, says Rihito. Oh, but you didn't tell me that, Rihito, exclaims Sana. Rihito, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. With you here, I don't care about what they say. Come on, let's go. Sana doesn't really know what's going on in his head, so she decides she's going to cook something really good for him. Then she realizes she's falling behind and runs to catch up. She approaches a box that seems to have vegetables, and she's shocked to see that they really are vegetables. She gets so excited she wants to buy everything. Rihito says that if she buys all that, it's going to be expensive. Sana gets sad after hearing that, so she decides to pick only the best ones. She grabs this one, that one, and that one over there, and in the end, the total is 10,000 yen. She wonders if that's too expensive and asks if it really costs that much. The vendor says yes. With all these aliens running around, it's hard to harvest crops. She thinks that makes sense, but it's still expensive and asks Rihito what he thinks. He takes 2 coins out of his pocket, realizing it won't be enough. The vendor notices this and makes a proposal. He'll offer the vegetables in exchange for that alien carcass. Rihito agrees, as long as he gets the best vegetables in return. The vendor agrees, and they take everything and leave. Sana asks if that was really a fair trade and says she thinks they're taking advantage of. Rihito says yes, probably. Then she asks why he didn't say anything. He says that saying something wouldn't change anything, and it would be even worse if they found out about her. He adds that he wants to go home soon to taste her cooking. Oh, alright then. I'll cook something worth the price. But just as they're about to leave, someone calls out to them. We see a young man and a little girl, and Rihito asks what they want. The little girl says she doesn't want anything. She just wants to say thank you. The young man offers something to Rihito, saying he shouldn't refuse. just take it, and adds that he likes returning favors, and if Rihito doesn't accept it, he'll follow him until he does. So Rihito agrees and takes the item. They say goodbye, and the little girl says they'll be in town for a while, so if they need anything, just call. Rihito is left confused, wondering what that was all about. Seina says she thought they were kind and asks what it is they gave Rihito. They find out it's curry. Seina gets excited, but Rihito says he's never eaten it and asks if it's good. Curry is amazing. It's super tasty, she says. Rihito replies, all right, let's eat curry then. And Seina says that's the plan. They go back home, and we see the dishes are all dirty. No one has washed them yet. And not only that, the trash is full. No one has taken it out. You can imagine what happens next. Seina sees that and goes ballistic, asking Rihito why he hasn't cleaned anything. Rihito says he's been busy and couldn't make it home in time. Seina gets even angrier, pointing out all the problems. The dishes aren't washed, the trash hasn't been taken out, and there are kitchen utensils all over the place. Rihito tells her to calm down, saying he was already planning to clean everything up. And once again, Seina explodes, saying that's exactly why everything is dirty. He keeps putting things off. I can't even cook now because of this. You have to clean regularly. Rihito agrees, and Seina finally calms down, saying, all right then, let's clean this up and cook afterward. There was even an alien carcass lost in the trash can. We see them doing the final touches, and finally, the kitchen is clean and shining. Rihito is amazed to realize he never actually knew what color the table was. That's when Rihito looks at the scene and notices she's bleeding. Oh, you're right. Did I cut myself on something? She asks. Rihito offers to treat it, and she says, wait. They grab a first aid kit, and he starts treating her. While doing it, he looks at her face and notices she's blushing, asking why she's like that. She starts hiding her face and tells him it's nothing, that she's going to cook and he should wait there. She closes the kitchen door, locks herself inside, and starts thinking about how handsome he is, wishing he would respect her personal space. Then she stops thinking about that and says she'll focus on cooking. She starts cutting some vegetables, puts everything in the pot, and begins mixing it with the sauce. Finally, she tastes a little and says it seems really good. She's happy she found some rice while cleaning because curry without rice isn't curry. She prepares 2 plates and runs out, saying it's ready. Rihito looks amazed at the dish, thinking it looks incredible and getting very excited. He says it's delicious, and she replies that yes, he'd better get ready because he'll be surprised by how good it tastes. Then let's eat. And at that moment, the blue light starts surrounding her again, and when she realizes it, she's back in her own room. She wonders if she's really back, throws herself on the bed, and gets upset because she couldn't even taste the food she made. She looks at her hands and notices the wound is still there, which means it really wasn't a dream. She feels disappointed because this time she couldn't gather much information, and she starts thinking about how she can prevent that future. That's when she realizes something. But what if they avoid that future? What would happen to Rihito? We then see him alone, eating, and that's where the story ends. If you liked it and didn't leave your like at the beginning of the video, take the opportunity to do it now and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure the bell is turned on, and comment asking for the next part of the video.